So,
and how do you know? When do you make the decision? What is it?
it's just it's like mannerisms. Like some people are like, I don't know, kind of mealy mouthed, I'd call it, or so kind of remind me of a dormouse, or I don't know. People have, I don't know, there's characteristics that just irritate me. Furtiveness.
A lot of that in the music business.
Yeah, oh God, I should say. Yeah, and I like direct talking, I must say, so you don't get a lot of that either. So, so I thought, should we let them hear Loveless and Swan and see if they're in. I said, well, I only want them to do it if they really want to do it, if they're excited by these songs. If they're not, it's not going to be, oh, we'll get some money, because there isn't any. We don't know. We've got a deal per se yet. But no, if they're excited and really want to do it, then yeah, I'm game for a laugh. And so in the end, Steve came down with his engineer to London, because I'd been renting a flat in London for about 6 months, and we ended up. I got the keys changed. They were the original pieces of music were in the wrong key for me. I thought I could do a better vocal if it was in the Siouxsie key. The Siouxsie key, guys. And they ended up driving down to London with some portable equipment, and I just put the vocals on the newly tuned backing tracks in Doug's front room, actually. And they took them away, and I think within about 4 or 5 weeks they had what nearly is what you can hear now. And I was really, because musically, although they followed sort of that it was the same song, but what they did musically was amazing. It was just, I was so excited to hear how sonically and how wild, but just amazing, just perfect.
Now, can I ask you, when you were writing the lyrics to Into a Swan, what was your picture? Because it's turned out to be one, sucking up a bit, but one of the great opening tracks to an album I've heard in recent years. It's
Great.
Extraordinary opening track, and it also seems to be a great summary of everything we've been talking about in terms of where you were.
Yeah.
And after, blah blah years, suddenly bursting out into something else.
Yeah, it's like it's.
Now, did you write that knowing it was about you, about what might happen, or was it an idea for someone else?
I think obviously it was me, but I kind of like the idea of someone else doing it. Although that was, I think I said before, that was a point where I was going, this is too much of me in there. Whereas Loveless, it could be more universal, I think. And I could imagine a girl band doing it, I thought Loveless was a perfect girl thing, sort of love, but kind of...
a girl band with a lot of attitude, though.
Yes, yeah. But Swan was the first one that I was reluctant to let anyone else have. And because it was how I was feeling. I was feeling like, okay, I just feel like I was breaking off old... I was feeling lighter. I was feeling like I was just... I don't know if it was all that had been before, and suddenly I just kind of shook it off. Something was right. I think I was doing a lot of things different. I had a new physical regime. I've always kept fit, but I discovered other ways and other methods to do, and that was invigorating me. I was just feeling much more positive within myself. I think because I'd survived some real load of shit, and I was just rising above all the cesspool of what I felt I'd been through. Yeah, it felt like a rebirth. It really did. And it should, it's insane that it's come this late.
Yes.
I mean, it's not normal.
No.
Definitely not normal.
And it's taken you by surprise, which is probably the point in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, and the surprise has it's got another effect. It's propelling me even more. It's almost like, oh wow, I can fly, and then it's like, whoa, and then it's, you know, whizzing off. Yeah, it honestly, it was a real transition thing that just switched to positive power. You know, it's just negative, positive.
And then without it being as twee as a concept or a narrative, it's very clear that once you had that moment, and it's obviously the opening, and you burst through, everything seems to come afterwards on many different levels. I mean, for instance, vocally, everything you've learnt over 25 years is all in there. So you're swinging, you're singing a kind of diseased jazz. The subject matter, it's not, you know, it's not unusual for you to be singing these kind of things, but it's fresh. So did it basically, you know, it literally, as the song itself says,
it was a catalyst for how to move forwards. It was definitely a catalyst for moving forwards, and not having to, I don't know, feel like you're. I suppose it, in a way, it embraced a kind of self without needing support from other things or other people in an odd way. It was almost like, no, this is self-supporting. Did you know? This sounds a bit vague, but it's I think what went before was so looking to be supported by other things, and being disappointed that it wasn't being supported, and then this point is like, well, fuck it, you know. Sorry, this is for the disc. Well, you know, this is like, well, don't look to anyone or anything else. Look to what strengths you have, and enjoy it. Really, it was a real kind of turning point, personally.
And the first two or three tracks kind of continue that, don't they? You know, the sense of it, you know, it's about to happen.
Yeah, it's like...
And then here comes that day, you're off, aren't you? I mean, you can really hear it. It's like, after being chased by shadows, it's like suddenly you're in the light. And it is, you know, it must have been an interesting
And it's not all light. It's like kind of, it's almost being able to pinpoint. It's almost like being able, you know, like in some films you get like playbacks of what happened 20 years ago, and then there's a backing track to that, and like some of the songs along the way is like on this journey, but using some playbacks to kind of like figure out,